Welcome back. This is Drew Erickson back again talking about money, not math. I'm talking to Kelsey Brateng. Did I say that right?
Brateng.
I knew I was going to get it wrong, but it's okay. So,
That's all right.
and Kristine Oslund.
Yep.
All right, awesome.
One
They
or two.
are sisters from this area.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Thief?
Yep.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Born and raised in Thief River Falls, and now still live in the area, generally speaking, close enough.
Mm-hmm.
And they are growing a business together called Kindred North Connection. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so before we get into the business side of things, I want to give everyone an opportunity to get to know them a little bit. So can you guys tell me a little bit about yourselves, family, what do you like to do for fun, things like that?
Yeah, I'm a mother to 4 kiddos, and I've been married to my husband Kelly for 15 years. Shoot, do the math.
We'll just assume you're right.
Right, 15 years. That sounds good. Yeah, and I have been a professional photographer in the area for the last 14 plus years. Yeah, and I am busy, running kids. I also teach art classes at the youth center in town here, and I also work with the Minnesota Arts Council. So
Wow, that's
Wear lots of
impressive.
hats.
Yeah, very busy, very busy. And how about you, Kristine?
So I was born and raised here in Thief River. It was 2010. I moved up to Roseau. I met a guy. He's a farmer. We've been married for 7 years, and we have 2 kids. They're 5 and 3. So I keep busy with them. I work full time at the courthouse, and I'm also going to school for business management. So that keeps me busy. I'm also part of like the Women of Today, up there. We, volunteer our time.
Okay.
We help with just events to get people together and stuff like that. So, what else? That's about all I got.
Okay, so the more and more I learn about them, the busier they sound. I don't know how you guys juggle it all, but I'm impressed. So obviously that just goes to show that it takes focus and hard work to be successful. So besides like the 19 things you guys just listed that you do for others, what do you guys like to do for fun?
Oh gosh. Lots of stuff. I love to do CrossFit. Became a passion of mine 3 years ago. I love to play softball. I love art, anything art. I do try and practice my art skills. I try every day, but it doesn't quite happen. But yeah, teaching art. I found a passion for teaching, which I never thought I would ever do.
Cool.
But I love it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, teaching is kind of like in the same vein as serving, and it sounds like you do a lot of things for other
Yes.
people. So it kind of makes sense from my
Kinda makes
perspective.
sense, yes.
But very cool. How about you, Kristen?
So for fun, like in the summers, we like to go kayaking. There's Hayes State Park, so we can go kayaking up there. We like to take the kids and go to that. And then I work out. That's kind of my me time. I like to. We have like a little home gym, and so I get up really early in the morning and I work out. It's just my me time. And then what else? And we do some snowmobiling here and there. More so Mark and the kids.
That's your me time when they leave.
Right. That's their time, and then my me time's at home. So, yeah, I love personal development. So I love reading books and things like that. So
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
good for you. You guys have both successfully found healthy habits
Yeah.
to
Yes.
fill your time. Not everyone is successful at doing that. So,
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
with all the things that you guys do, and for anyone who doesn't know, Kristen's from about Roseau in that area,
Yeah.
and that's about an hour from Thief River Falls.
Yeah.
So, around here, that's a little bit of a drive if you live anywhere in a city. Like when I lived in Minneapolis, it took me an hour to get to and from work, which
Yeah.
was like 10 miles away. So you can look at that however you want.
Yeah.
You know when you live in a city or in a small town based off of how you measure time
Wow.
or miles.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, I understand it.
Yeah,
I just-
it's crazy.
Yeah, when I first moved to school, or when I moved down to the cities, I asked how far something was, and they'd give me a time response. I was like, well, how far? Like, well, it depends.
You
on the
can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
There's a traffic.
Yeah.
Depends on the
Like,
time
well,
of day.
our transition or our translation is 1 mile per minute.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Not in
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah. I wouldn't get anywhere in time.
Yeah,
I still don't.
it's crazy how much it matters and how much time you save by not living in big cities. Well, now that I don't anymore, so it's nice. So, as far as Kindred North Connection, can you guys tell us a little bit more about that specifically? As far as what is it as far as a business? What are you guys trying to achieve to provide value for your clients?
Yeah. I kind of, I hadn't intended on going that route. It just kind of fell in my lap, and I ended up loving the commercial side of photography. And then I kind of got into, creating content, and then having conversations with small business owners and seeing a need. Like, I didn't realize how much people were struggling with different aspects of social media, just having a website. I, had people coming up to me asking me if I could make them a website or, take photos and create content. So I started doing that a couple years ago, and so we're just hoping to grow that and provide a service that we see a need for in this area. I think a lot of small business owners, I think they either don't have time or they're kind of scared of it. I mean, it's a lot to know, and it's a lot to learn. And so we just saw a need, and we'd like to provide a service to these business owners. I mean, as a business owner myself, I understand like how time consuming it is, and I sometimes don't have time to post on my socials, so I totally get it. So
your goal is to basically, is it to build a website and then say, here you go, this is how it works, or is it like an ongoing service where once per day or once per week, once per month, whatever your agreement is, you're going to run a company's online marketing? Is that?
Yep, so basically we'll manage it and put that content out there, and also do stats, like how is this going, like, the analytics part of it, where business owners probably don't understand that. And that's where we come in and be like, okay, we see this working, or we don't see it, this isn't working, what can we do? And explain it to them, and that's the thing we would provide is like one-on-one, like reporting, like this is what's going well, this is not going well, what can we do better?
And also creating like a social media content calendar where keeping up with, things that they like to highlight, whatever is going on in their business, and creating that content for them that they don't have time to do. So
okay, that makes complete sense, because I know, I think this can go for any situation, but from my experiences, even if they could figure it out, because a lot of business owners are very intelligent people, do they really want to take the time to do it? Right?
That's the number one thing,
What are you going to trade off to do it yourself? Are you going to trade off working hours where you make money? Or are you going to trade off family hours where you want to spend time with your family?
Exactly.
What's the trade-off? Or is it worth it to pay someone like you guys,
to outsource
ladies,
it.
to do it all for you when you're already good at it? Is that kind of the value that you're trying to essentially fill?
Because they want to outsource that, and I think they would feel much better someone just doing it that they can do it, and that's where we come in.
That has the knowledge and to create content and stuff. I mean, they're busy running their business. Like, it's just another added thing
on their plate.
They do, so we get it.
And from a consumer standpoint, on a New Year's Eve, for example, if I'm looking for something to do, it'd be a lot easier if it was all out there more, so I didn't have to go try to find a newspaper to figure out what was listed for the upcoming week.
And if you look at the statistics, it's crazy how many people are on social media or on their phones. I mean, I drew up a stat, and I don't have it on me, but it is crazy, especially the demographics of it. Even the 50-year-olds, even like the baby boomers are on social media.
Well, I think anyone under 25 is leaving Facebook because the over 55s are coming onto it. So it's kind of funny how you can balance like the demographics of Instagram, Facebook, all these different areas, which is one more layer that you guys focus on that maybe I or someone else that does their own marketing wouldn't want to. Yeah, it's very fascinating, because I know that even for me personally, I don't want to speak for everyone, but if I am watching like a sports event on live, a commercial comes up, I don't watch the commercial. I pull up my phone.
Pull up your phone, that's
right. So for a business owner, how do you integrate your marketing while people are pulling up their phones? Is kind of the way what I'm hearing, I guess, if that's okay with you guys. So,
absolutely.
I have to ask, how is it working together as siblings? had to be a little bit of a learning curve, or if you guys
It
have
is,
always
like,
been
with the
working together.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've talked for years about doing something together.
We've like ever
For,
since
like,
like
10
she
years.
started college, we're always like, you know, throwing around ideas and
then, you know, it just kind of fell into place, like the signs. But you know, with the distance, I mean, we're both busy, so, we're very, I don't know, we understand.
we're a lot alike.
We're so much alike.
Even though I'm much older.
It's kind of scary. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll call each other, like, I was just going to call you. Like,
Right.
So we work really well, and I don't, you know, some people will say don't ever go into business with family, but I really, it's been going really great. Like,
Good for you.
yeah, we understand we have busy lives,
Mhm.
and we know that, I mean, nothing can really break us up. So
Yeah.
we're pretty solid. So
Good for you guys. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, when I learned you guys were sisters, I was thinking to myself, I have a sister and a brother, and I was thinking, I wonder if we would work well together. We get along great. We really
Right.
do. But there's a difference between working together and
Yeah.
loving each other.
Right.
Right?
And there's
So
things like
I
she
really
brings to
love
the table that I'm like, you have strength in that, I do not, and there's things that I can bring to the table, and so we kind of like, we really balance each other out, so.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
what I love about it.
Yeah.
So you being in Roseau and you being here in Thief River Falls, did you guys have like a location that you're marketing targeting for your business?
Yeah.
Or is it specifically just those two towns? Is it this general area? What's your guys' target market from a demographic standpoint?
Well, we're hoping, the general region, not
Yeah,
just Thief
Northwest.
River
Yeah.
or Roseau. You know, we would like to, right now we just want to focus on area businesses and hopefully expand, you know, eventually. But we, you know, we're locals, and we feel like we kind of have a good sense for this community. And
We know the people, and
Yeah.
I just think we can, you know, even, Roseau, bring all this in this area, and then who knows where we can.
Yeah, because right now there's not really, as far as our research goes, there's not really anything in this area. I know of a few people who do social media marketing, but they're not advertising. And I just think there needs to be an avenue for small business owners who don't know where to start, to be like, hey, there's actually somebody that's doing this. Let's, check them out and see what they're all about. So.
Okay.
So
in additional to the online social media, like, posting, creating content, things like that, with your background in photography, are you also willing to go out or go to those businesses to, take video, pictures, whatever it takes to help not only get an online platform, but also bring the business to people so they can better feel a part of it? I guess you
Right,
could say.
absolutely. Like I love that part of it. Like being able to go to a business and listen to their story and see them in their day to day, and getting to know the people, and kind of getting a sense of their story. Like we're all hardwired for story, and I think seeing people behind the business, I think, is a huge, like, people want to be connected. Like they want that human connection. So I think bringing the faces of the business to the forefront, I think is big, and I think that's the direction that business is going. People want that connection, so it's been a lot of fun. Like, yeah, so willing to travel, take anything from portraits to content like behind the scenes, product photos, and you name it. It's a lot of fun getting to explore the business. So
yeah, people love stories and being authentic. Like they don't want perfect. They want like the real, they want the raw and real. Like what is it like? And people get connected that way. So
yeah.
Absolutely. So do you have to be in person, or could, let's say I called you from Bismarck, North Dakota, and I wanted to hire you, do we have to meet in person, or can you work with someone just completely over the phone and online and things like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the beauty of social media and like the technology today is you don't have to be in person, but we are all about in person as well. So we're very well rounded that way. But no, absolutely, we can.
There are ways around,
There's
as far as
FaceTime. So even if you're not in person, if you're FaceTiming, that's still feels somewhat of a connection. You gotta put a face on, on their name.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So even though you are focusing in this area, you're not limited to really any area when it comes to
Right.
working with good people.
Yeah,
Right.
Is that fair?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so from a location standpoint, we got that covered. But from a, let's say, a business standpoint, is there a specific business type or type of person that you guys are targeting that you would like to work with, or that you feel you could bring the most value to?
I don't think specifically. I think it has to be a good match. Like, you know, I mean, if you know, if we do meet, or if we, you know, start a conversation and, you know, we don't feel like it's a good match, I think it's okay to say that. But I don't think a specific, you know, more, we're kind of focusing on just small business in general.
Okay.
I think that's where the need is right now. You know, all these bigger businesses, they have their own kind of marketing, you know, departments, or, you know, they have the bigger marketing budgets. And so the small business, I think there's just that missing piece to the small business as far as, like, you know, their marketing budgets go, and even just knowing where to start. So
Yeah, and too, like, just meeting with them, getting to know them, because we'll offer like a free consultation. So part of that is getting to know them, and, you know, just what's their story and stuff like that. So yeah, that will
asking
help
lots of
determine.
questions. Asking lots of questions.
Asking lots of questions, and they do the talking. We listen, they do the talking, because we want, you know, and that's, people like to talk about their lives and their stories and their business and
What they're passionate about.
yeah, and so
Absolutely.
we're here to listen and help them reach their goals.
So what does that process look like? If you were giving me a free consultation, we set aside 30 minutes, an hour, what is it? And then we decide, and then once that time's up, we kind of agree or disagree to agree to meet again, or what does that look like?
Well, we
perfect world.
initially.
It's obviously different depending on the
It
situation,
is,
but in the
yeah,
ideal world.
yeah. So initially, we like to send them a questionnaire before we meet, so they kind of get an idea of what we'll be going over. Just like basic things like, you know, how long have you been in business? You know, what are your business goals? Just kind of a guideline for them to look over, just so they have those answers that we're looking for. And then, yeah, when we do meet, just to kind of go, you know, to go over what their goals are, you know, what they're looking to achieve, and, you know, go from there. So, yeah.
Okay. So in your guys' experiences so far, between parenting, working, businesses, volunteering, basically everything, what would you say are the best financial lessons that you have learned so far from your experiences?
Oh, financial lessons. Probably everything I'm teaching my kids right now. Like, you know, like, when I was growing up, there wasn't, like, credit card debt. Like, no one told me, like, oh, watch out, like, you know, watch out for credit card debt and all this stuff. And so, just being smart about your money, just having, you know, saving money. Yeah, like, I've always like, oh, I'm never good with numbers, and I'm an artist. I'm not a numbers person, but you kind of gotta, like, tell yourself a different story.
Yeah, and it's always going to be a learning curve, especially with the business part of it. We're still learning, and I mean, there's all kinds of information out there, but yeah, I've learned that. Yeah, there's so many. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You know, I do believe in, you need to spend money to make money, but you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket.
Break the bank.
Break the bank. Yeah. There are smart ways to do it. It's not work harder, it's work smarter.
Just work
kind of
smarter.
thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, sometimes do both, but definitely
Yeah,
right.
try to be smarter about it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Try, yeah, you can try.
And outsource, you know, like, that's our idea thing, is like, we want to outsource someone to help us with that, because, you know, when you first go into it, because we're just brand spanking new and going into this, and we're like, okay, we need someone to kind of guide us, and
We're wearing all the hats right now, but
Right.
eventually, once we get a system in place, to kind of outsource some of that, you know,
Yeah.
our weaknesses, you know.
Yep. Well, it makes sense. I mean, you always, or I hear all the time, you know, focus on what you're good at and hire the rest.
exactly.
Once you can,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So,
right.
because when you first start, you can't really
Right, you're
don't wanna
just
throw all the money
Right.
at everything else. So, based off of what you have learned, if there was like one piece of advice that you could give to whether someone's starting a business or starting a family or just kind of entering their financial life, or maybe even your, you know, in your general situations, but if there was one piece of financial advice that you would give, what would it be?
Gosh. Like financial advice?
Yep, just not necessarily like
okay.
you get into the X's and
Just-
O's of like the stock market,
yeah.
but just from your experiences of
Yeah.
what you've learned, if you were going to give advice to someone, what would it be? Just one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah. Well, for me, I, I worked in corporate, a 9 to 5 job for 10 years, and I was in my comfort zone way too long. So, like, my advice is you need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to grow. You need to learn. Always be curious. I think in the last, 5 years, I've grown more than I have in the last 10 to 15 years. So, yeah, it's always be curious, and just as scary as it is, you need to step out of your comfort zone and just, go for it.
Cool. How about you?
Like she said, and then also too, if you like what you're doing, fine, but if there's a seed that's planted in you, don't lose sight of that seed. Maybe it's not your season, maybe it's not, but I'm always a believer in the time is now. What better, there's no time like, the time is now. So, for me, the seed was planted, and, you just can't, if you can't let go of that thing that's in the back of your head, just keep working on it, move that needle just a little bit forward. You don't have to make this huge stride. Just keep moving the needle a little bit at a time, and you'll make big impact. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's great advice in both cases. Just to kind of brief recap, correct me if I'm wrong, but one, make yourself uncomfortable, right? You can't just stay in your lane forever.
Right.
But two, with that, you don't have to be so uncomfortable and expect perfection tomorrow.
Right.
If you just get a little bit better every day, you're going to get closer to reaching the goal.
Exactly.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. So
Yes.
hopefully that's what
Yes.
what you said to a point. And along that vein, what would you say is your definition of being successful? So in your eyes, what do you think is your definition of being successful? And you guys cannot copy each other.
Right.
But you can go one at a time, either one first. It's completely up to you.
Success, it's kind of a state of mind. You set goals and you achieve goals, but I think as a society, we're so goal driven. I think if you don't stop and appreciate the goals that you have accomplished, it kind of diminishes them. So you have to kind of look at what you have accomplished and be like, oh my gosh, I've grown so much. And yes, achieving goals and getting to your goals is great, but I think you have to have gratitude, you have to have appreciation for how far you have come to get to your next goal. Otherwise, you just kind of burn out.
Absolutely. Appreciating what you have done is almost as important,
It
if
is,
not more, than
if not
setting
more.
new goals, for sure.
And embracing the moment, whether it sucks or not. I'm always a believer, embrace the suck. That's just like you said, it's a state of mind. You can look at the finish line all you want, but if you don't enjoy the moment, no matter where you are, as far as success goes, I think you need to celebrate every win, no matter how big or how small. I think that's successful, and trying to be better than you were yesterday, or be a better version. If you're always striving to be better, I feel like that's successful as well. So it's not just a money thing or material things. It's like you said, it's a state of mind and how you feel.
Absolutely. I think I appreciate those answers. I always think it's interesting to hear whether people are or not successful, their definition of it, because it's so a lot of people. I used this analogy earlier with someone. I find that a lot of people look at, when I ask that question, what's the finish line look like, and that's what the description I get. But you guys both gave me what the race looks like. What's the path to get there? And I think neither answer is right or wrong, but I think both are fascinating. So I appreciate you sharing that. Along that vein of moving the needle, where would you like to see your business, which is Kindred North Connection? I want to make sure I say it right. Let's say in 5 years from now.
5 years from now, I would love to see us working with 20 different businesses, expanding. 5 years. A lot can happen in 5 years. A lot has happened in the last 6 months, but just going forward. I think one of our other visions for this company is not just social media marketing, but I think we really love teaching and like helping people, and not only like helping them create content and helping them with social media, but also maybe like doing like workshops. Or I mean, I've had so many people come up to me and they're like, okay, so you know, I'm trying to create content for my Facebook page and I'm having trouble with my lighting, or you know, just like maybe doing some workshops on basic like natural light photography, or you know, just kind of like giving people the tools to create successful content for their socials. So I see it as more of a really big into the community, like you know, coming together and like learning as a whole. So I see it growing into something like that. So that's the goal. I mean, that's the vision.
Yeah.
And Dad?
Yeah, and I think we want to do so many different things that like we need to start with one. Because we talk about all these things we want to do, and it's like, okay, let's start with one, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, we want to see it grow, and we want to like provide employment opportunity, like when we grow enough, like be like, okay, we have already these people we think of like, oh, it would be awesome to work with, and you know, or collaborate with other business. You know, there's just so many opportunities. I think what's getting so exciting is we see the vision, like we see the big picture, but we just got to start somewhere. We just have to start.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
thing.
the hardest
just
part,
start.
right?
Now a better time than now, right?
Right.
Well, I think that's cool. I think the vision might be the hardest part for many. So the fact that you have that down is awesome. And not only do you want to help other people, but you want to start hiring people and growing the community even more. I think is really cool to give back in multiple ways. Obviously, not only are you helping the business grow, but you're helping your business grow and other people grow. So that's very cool. So of all the things we've covered today, is there anything that we haven't yet that you'd like to highlight or add, or you know, provide to those who are willing to take the time to watch or listen to our conversation today?
Yeah, just thank you, and you know, we're open for business.
Like, officially.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we're always learning, just like, yeah, we're here, so we want to provide a service, and we're here, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if someone does want to reach out to you to learn more, have a free consultation, what is the best way to contact you?
Well, we do have our website. It's kindrednorthconnection.com. You can find us like Kristine or Kelsey at Kindred North Connection. And then we're on socials, of course, Facebook and Instagram as of right now.
Yeah, we'll be getting on more platforms like YouTube, I'm sure, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
All those.
There's so many.
Yes, there is, and they're adding more.
Twitter.
Oh, more.
Yeah, TikTok now.
Oh, TikTok.
Yes.
Who would have thought?
That one, I have not figured out any way to be creative or funny on that, but good luck
It's
if
a
you
rate to rate. I know.
And it's like either 15 seconds or a minute videos, so I don't
It's like,
really know what to
whoa.
do there.
What do I
I've tried a couple times and I get made fun of from my 10-year-old hockey players, but it just,
That's awesome.
I don't know.
At least
It
you're
is what
trying.
it is. But either way, I truly appreciate you both coming in to have a conversation with me today. Like I said, the more and more I learn, the more and more impressed I am with how busy but also motivated you are. So I applaud you for that. I can only imagine that if you were running, you know, businesses, social media, you're going to put in that same amount of effort. So I definitely recommend anyone give them a call, reach out to them. I don't know if you guys had phone numbers or if you just had the website. If you don't want phone numbers, that's okay too.
Mine's 218-688-0078.
Mine's 218-684-1235. So not too hard to remember. I missed it by one, not the
1235.
1235.
Still convenient. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for taking the time to watch. Please reach out. Let us know what you thought about our conversation. Let us know if you have questions. And of course, if you like the conversation, click like, or even better yet, share it with a friend. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch and enjoy, or kind of listen to our conversation today, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.